Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This time we're going to be taking a look at a spoken word piece called Why Do Some People Overlook Opportunities Right in Front of Them?
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
And it really takes a look at why some people just seem to miss out on success and fulfillment while others are just killing it.
Yeah.
The speaker doesn't really hold back.
Oh, good.
So get ready for some pretty strong opinions and some really unexpected examples that he brings up.
I'm ready. I always love how these spoken word pieces just jump right in.
Yeah.
And this one starts off with the speaker describing a personal experience, this encounter with someone who's scavenging at a dump site.
Wow.
In a developed European country, no less.
Okay.
So it makes him stop and think, what went wrong here? Like, this is a place surrounded by opportunities, and yet this person.
Right. Like, what a powerful image, right?
Exactly.
That just kind of sets the stage for this whole exploration of what leads to missed opportunities.
Totally. And one of the first things he emphasizes is timing. Like how crucial it is to recognize those different life stages, you know?
Yeah.
That proverb, bear the yoke when you were young.
Right.
He really leans into that. Like certain times are ideal for learning, for skill building, setting ourselves up for the future.
And you miss those windows, and it can really have consequences that ripple out for years.
Precisely. And he's also a big believer in approaching those stages with seriousness, with an eye towards sustainability. And he uses this really, really vivid example to illustrate his point. That image of a young woman on YouTube shaking her breasts for views.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. It's a metaphor.
Exactly. We're going to dig a little deeper here.
Okay, all right, I'm with you. It's provocative, but
It is.
we're going for that deeper meaning, right? It's like all those choices, I might feel good now, but don't build anything lasting.
Exactly. And that's where that sustainability piece comes in.
Right, like building something sustainable.
And when you think about it, this connects to so many of those broader societal trends we see. The allure of quick fame, the gig economy, that pressure to constantly produce content, without necessarily building a solid foundation.
Are we building for the long haul or just for the next 15 minutes of fame?
That's the question. And, this leads us to another fascinating point that he brings up, the connection between personal planning
Okay.
and this reliance on profits or external guidance.
Oh, now that's a bold statement.
He argues that when people don't have a well-defined plan, they tend to look outward for direction. They're looking for that guidance.
Interesting.
But when we set goals and pursue them with purpose, those plans almost become like self-fulfilling prophecies.
You're not hoping for a good future. You're actively creating it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that whole manifesting movement, right?
Right.
But he's suggesting that it's not enough to simply visualize. You have to back it up with action.
Absolutely. And to really illustrate this point, he shares his own story. Like, he intentionally shaped his life. He stopped practicing medicine at 40 to avoid burnout. Later on, he saved diligently to educate his children. Built a business that gives him freedom and flexibility.
Wow. So he didn't just let life happen. It
Yeah.
sounds like he really took control and designed the life he wanted, even decades in advance.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. And this brings us back to that concept of sustainability, which he expands on.
Okay.
He says it's not just about, doing something repeatedly. It's about achieving present goals
Wow.
without jeopardizing future goals.
Okay.
And not just your own, but those of future generations as well.
So he's connecting it to, ideas like environmental sustainability, ethical business practices, just thinking about the impact of our choices on the world around us.
Right. Now, that breast shaking example might still be lingering in your mind a little bit.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
It is. It's a little jarring.
Provocative.
It is. But even if the specific example makes us uncomfortable, I think the underlying message is really crucial.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about, recognizing the difference between fleeting success and building something with substance, something that lasts.
Okay.
And this leads perfectly into his comparison of shaking breasts with what he calls shaking brains.
Ooh, okay, now this is where it gets interesting.
All right.
Lay it on me.
He uses Fela Kuti as an example.
Oh, wow.
The legendary Nigerian musician?
Yeah.
He's an example of somebody who shook brains. Fela's music is still so relevant today, decades later.
Absolutely.
And it's like he built this lasting legacy through his art and his message.
It's about using your intellect, your skills, your knowledge to create something of enduring value.
Not just chasing the latest trends.
And that's something to think about no matter what field you're in or what your passions are.
Yeah, it really makes you question, are we building something that matters, something that's going to last?
Yeah, and He touches on this whole idea of personal branding, which I found fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
He compares those cheap, readily available products to like luxury brands,
Oh, interesting.
the ones that are, rare and highly sought after.
I like that. That's a really good analogy. Don't undervalue yourself. Don't become a commodity.
Right.
It's like by honing valuable skills, by pursuing excellence, by creating something unique,
Right.
you can build a personal brand that endures. Just like those luxury goods, that hold their value over time.
Okay. So we've unpacked a lot here, but what does it all mean for us?
The listeners.
Yeah. Like, what are we taking away from this?
Well, for me, the key takeaway is intentionality. This speaker is really urging us to be deliberate in our choices, to think about the long-term impact of our actions, and really create a life that aligns with our values and goals.
It's not just about working hard. It's about working smart, working with purpose, investing in yourself.
Absolutely. And recognizing that you have the power to shape your own destiny. You don't have to be a passive bystander, in your own life.
Mm.
You can take control, you can make plans, you can build a future you're proud of.
I love that. It's so empowering. But I'm also thinking about you know, i- isn't it a bit privileged to say we all have this power to shape our destinies?
Yeah.
What about those systemic barriers that exist? Things like poverty discrimination, lack of access to education.
Right.
I mean, those can create huge obstacles that are really hard to overcome.
You're absolutely right. And it's so crucial to acknowledge those systemic issues and work towards a more equitable society where everyone has a fair shot. But I think even within those limitations, there's still so much we can do to take ownership of our lives and maximize the opportunities that we do have.
It's like he's saying, don't let external circumstances define you. Focus on what you can control
Mm. Mm.
and make it count.
And that's such a powerful message, especially today, when we're just constantly bombarded with information and distraction.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy to just get lost in the noise,
Mm.
lose sight of what matters.
This piece is a good reminder to slow down, reflect on our values, and make choices that align with the future we want to create.
It all circles back to that initial question that sparked this whole discussion
What could have gone wrong?
for that person at the dump site.
Yeah. By understanding what leads to missed opportunities, we gain these really valuable insights into how to make the most of our own lives, how to create a future that's filled with purpose and fulfillment.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we avoid overlooking these opportunities that are right in front of us?
I think the first step is self-awareness. We need to identify our own biases,
Okay.
our own assumptions, what limiting beliefs might be holding us back. What are we afraid of?
And once we've pinpointed those roadblocks, we can start to dismantle them.
Exactly. It's a journey of self-discovery and growth. It's about challenging ourselves to step outside of our comfort zones and pursue our passions, with courage and determination.
Recognizing that we are all capable of achieving great things. But it takes effort. It takes planning. A willingness to embrace the journey even when it gets tough.
And the speaker's personal story really embodies that. He didn't just stumble upon success. He worked for it. He planned for it. He made these deliberate choices that led him to where he is today.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. It shows that it's never too late to start creating the life we want.
Absolutely. No matter where you are on your journey, you can always choose to shift direction. Learn new skills, pursue new opportunities. It's about taking ownership of your future and refusing to be defined by your past or by your circumstances.
I love that.
Yeah, that really resonates with me. It's a reminder that we all have that power within us to create those extraordinary lives filled with purpose, with passion, with a lasting impact.
This has been incredible. We've covered so much ground.
We have.
From the importance of timing and sustainability to the power of personal branding and intentional living.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out to you as like the most impactful takeaway?
I think for me, it's that reminder that true success isn't just about those external achievements. It's about aligning our actions with our values and creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. It's about shaking brains rather than chasing those fleeting trends and building a legacy that extends beyond our own lifetimes.
That beautifully said. It leads us to a question we want to leave you with today.
Okay.
Think about your own life, your aspirations, and the legacy you want to create. What's one concrete step you can take today to make sure that your current path is leading towards a future that's both fulfilling and sustainable for yourself and for those who come after you?
That's a powerful question, isn't it? It really challenges us to think, beyond that instant gratification,
Right.
and really consider the ripple effects of our choices.
It's about leaving the world a little better than we found it right.
Hmm.
Making sure our actions are creating a positive impact, not just for us, but for the generations that come after us.
Exactly. And that can manifest in so many ways. It could be through your work, your relationships, your creative endeavors, how you contribute to your community.
Using your unique talents and passions to make a difference.
Hmm.
But it does take conscious effort, right?
It does. We need to be intentional about setting goals, making plans, and taking those steps, moving towards that future we envision, not just drifting along, but really actively shaping our path.
And being mindful of the resources that we're using along the way,
Right.
both our personal resources and, the planet's as well.
Mhm.
Making those choices that support a sustainable future for everyone.
Yeah, this deep dive has been such a good reminder that we're not just passengers on this journey. We actually have the power to create our own destinies and leave a legacy that extends far beyond our own lifetimes.
It's been a really incredible exploration of what leads to those missed opportunities, but also, what paves the way for that lasting success.
And, we've learned about the importance of timing, of approaching our goals with seriousness and a focus on sustainability. We've challenged ourselves to examine our choices, our motivations, and uncover those limiting beliefs that might be holding us back.
We've been inspired by those stories of people who have intentionally crafted lives.
Yeah.
They're filled with purpose and impact. So as you go about your day, just carry these insights with you. Reflect on your own aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of future do you want to create for yourself and for those who come after you?
That's a question.
And remember, you have the power to make it happen. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.